I've noticed that in recent years, Comic-Cons have sort of become a cultural phenomenon, featuring mass pop culture gatherings with everything from celebrity guests to upcoming TV shows, and one aspect that is often overlooked in the midst of all of this is the comic books, which is a little bit ironic if you think about it. However, many comic book collectors are willing to pay top dollar to finish off their collections. For example, this comic book here, in 2014, sold for $3.4 million. In fact, in 2019, the 5th page of the comic book sold for almost $30,000. So, what determines a comic's value? First thing to consider is the condition of the comic book, known as the grade. Any damage to the comic book lowers the grade. Comic books are easily damaged along the spine, which when pinched can create a tick that can break the color. The areas around the corners and staples are also easily damaged. Comics can be sent out to various companies to be graded professionally, such as CGC, which sets the standard scale used to grade comics. Comics are graded on a scale from 0 to 10. However, as perfection is an inattainable goal, 9.8 is generally considered to be perfect enough. After a comic is graded professionally, it is locked in a cold, hard slab of plastic to be ever preserved in its current state. There are a zillion ways to lower a comic's grade. But is there any way to increase it, you ask? Actually, yes. 1. Cleaning the comic. This doesn't require anything fancy. An eraser should be sufficient to remove most dirt from the comic's cover. Just be careful because an eraser is also sufficient to remove most color from the comic's cover. 2. Pressing the comic. Just as pressing coal for a few thousand years will make diamonds, applying even pressure to the cover of a comic and the right amount of humidity can press out even the most stubborn of ticks, folds, and water damage, as long as it doesn't break color. So, naturally, high-grade comic books are more valuable than low-grade comic books because there are less high-grade comic books and they are more sought after. Higher demand, lower supply. The next aspect that determines a comic book's value is rarity. Every issue has a specific print run, the amount of copies that were printed. Oftentimes, publishers will have higher print runs when a series is new, but as the series fades out of style, they print less because more people are going to buy them off the press. As many collectors want to collect a complete run of the series, the comic books with lower print runs, often towards the end of the series, are usually more valuable. The older a comic book is, the less copies are likely to survive. But this is especially true with Golden Age comics from before 1949, when many comics were burnt as they were deemed to be obscene or desensitizing. Many comics are sought after due to their obscurity or niche appeal. Some comics, such as New Mutants 98, for $40 on eBay in 2003, can climb out of obscurity. The most recent sale was for almost $2,500. Notoriety. Comic books are often sought after for their notoriety. These key issues include first issues of new series and the first appearances of beloved characters, comics with big cultural impact, amazing artwork, and compelling stories. The comic I mentioned earlier, New Mutants 98, is the first appearance of Deadpool, who was a very obscure character for many years. Signatures can also improve a comic's notoriety and value. Oftentimes, a comic's notoriety can peak in speculation about the advent of something big. Hype. A CGC 9.6 copy of Avengers #1 sold for $250,000 on eBay in September of 2011, 9 months before the Avengers movie was released. The first appearance of Iron Man increased by $10,000 after the release of his first feature film. The first appearance of an obscure team of cosmic heroes sold for $160 in 2005, then for $900 in 2011, then $5,200 in 2014. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you learned something about comic books today. Please subscribe for my upcoming content. I'm working on 2 videos. One's about a contemporary art exhibit, and the other one is about copper mining on sacred land. Please subscribe and stay tuned.